What is up, YouTube? What is up, family? We got some more Polish foods to check out. This time we got 25, so we got more variety this time. We got 25 Polish foods you need to try. Well, that's no problem. As long as it's not like blood sausage and blood soup and liver and anything else, I'll try. I promise you, I'll try. You know, I'm one of those where you can't really say you hate it until you try it. But there's a few things I just won't try. But anyway, but very, very, very little. We're talking about like 4 or 5 things, like ever, that I just won't try. But like snails, like nah, man, I ain't eating no snails. I'm just not. It's just not doing it. Anyway, 25 Polish food. Let's go. The first whatever I'm looking at, I'll definitely try that. That's no problem. I'll try that in a heartbeat.
Do you have a hankering for some sausage, cabbage, or a pastry that resembles the mountains of Central Europe? It
Yes.
sounds like you're in the mood for some Polish cuisine. Here's what you should try. Cabbage grows abundantly in Poland's cool weather, along with the likes of beets, carrots, and potatoes. Add to that the fact that one of their cuisine's traditional flavor combinations is sweet and sour, and it quickly becomes clear why such stuffed cabbage is such a popular and ubiquitous dish. Same goes for rolled cabbage.
That looks delicious.
Or gołąbki, as it's known in the Polish language. Stuffed cabbage rolls are filled with any kind of chopped meat, usually pork, mixed with rice, which is a great way to stretch a relatively small amount of meat into a meal for a whole family. The mixture is seasoned with garlic and paprika. Pierogi.
Oh, what? Oh man, yeah. Why not? Oh, all right. So far, I would eat everything that she has shown me. No doubt, eat it all. No problem.
Is actually the plural form, which is why you'll never see us putting an S at the end of the word.
I think I did that. One of you guys yelled at me. I was like, "Yo, pierogi's at the bottom." And you're like, "Nah, man, you don't need no S. It's pierogi."
Apart from the spelling challenge.
That's the pierogi. I know all about this one. That's the pierogi that I'm most familiar with right here. Oh my goodness.
Challenge. Although pierogi is a dish closely associated with Poland, it may also have Russian roots as well.
Yeah, somebody was not happy. They were like, no, it's not Russian. It's Polish.
Which makes sense when you consider the extended Soviet occupation of Poland. You
Oh, that's why they're going by? All right. Oh, damn, what is that?
may already be familiar with pierogi as they are very popular not only in Poland, but in the United States as well. So you can probably already order them up from your favorite delivery app, or you can find a simple recipe and prepare a batch yourself. If you're getting serious about your relationship with a Polish significant other and you get invited to dinner with your potential future in-laws, you'd better hope that the Polish soup Czernina isn't on the menu.
Isn't on the menu?
If you are, in fact, served Czernina, you should take it as a hint that your relationship is on the road to nowhere.
Oh shit, really?
While there are certainly easier ways to give a suitor the slip, there are few that are quite so delicious as Czernina. It's a thick, creamy soup made from duck blood that's
Oh, hell no. Nope. See, this is one of those. I'm not drinking no duck blood. No.
Kaszanka is a blood sausage made from a mixture of buckwheat groats, pig's blood, and various parts of the pig that would otherwise be tossed into the garbage as offal.
Okay, never mind. I'll skip this one too.
Including the intestines, which are used to encase this popular Polish delicacy.
Well, that's a hot dog, basically, ain't it? It's leftover, whatever the hell nobody wants is in a hot dog.
And cooking.
No, I got enough blood. I got my own blood. I got plenty of blood. I don't need more blood. I'm good. I'm good with the blood. Can we just remove the blood sausage and eat everything else on the plate? I'm cool with that. I'm fine with it. Just, nah, man, I'm good. I got enough of my own blood. I don't need no pig blood, duck blood. I'm good. I'm good with blood, all right?
Rather, it's more likely that Kaszanka is considered a peasant dish. It is, after all, made from the lower parts of the pig, plus buckwheat to stretch those parts out even further. Kolaczki are light pastries
now we talking.
That some might consider cookies. They have a sweet fruit filling and are sprinkled with powdered sugar. According to Tony Clary, an American who has spent 23 years living and working near Warsaw, Poland, they're usually prepared around holidays or weddings, and they sit out on a table or counter so that sweets are handy for coffee or tea.
That with coffee? Ooh.
But why wait for once a year to enjoy this cream cheese-enriched pastry that Clary believes came about thanks to Polish-Ukrainian-Jewish interaction? As with a number of other dishes on this roundup of fabulous Polish foods, Kolaczki is beloved in Poland and recognizes no borders, as it also boasts fans in Russia, Austria, the Czech Republic, and Denmark, among others. You may already be familiar with a variation known as rugeluk, which is a tradition on the tables of Jewish people who can trace their roots to Central and or Eastern Europe.
I've had these, they're good.
However,
with coffee as well.
While rugeluk refers to a horn-shaped pastry, Kolaczki are meant to resemble a flower in bloom. And while Kolaczki is always stuffed with fruit, rugeluk may be filled with nuts, raisins, or seeds. You might not
I don't like the ones with raisins.
Associate Poland with cheese making, but once you taste Oscypek, a wonderful smoked cheese made from salted sheep's milk, it's unlikely you'll ever forget that Poland is the only place in the world where this particular cheese is made. Specifically, Oscypek is produced solely in Poland's Tatra Mountains, and even more specifically, it's made only by Górale, who are traditional shepherds and Tatra cheesemakers. Nevertheless, you'll likely be able to find Oscypek almost everywhere in the country. Oscypek is typically served grilled in order to highlight the hardness of its rind and the tenderness of its interior. Because it's often served with cranberry jam as a condiment, it might call to mind brie, but once you taste it, you'll never get Oscypek confused with that French-based aged wheel of cheese.
Spill the cheese!
Silesian Kluski refers to a soft, unfilled dumpling made with potato that may call to mind Italian gnocchi and German spätzle.
I would tear this up too. This number, what was this? 6, 7? I would tear this dish up. Oh my goodness! Look at the one on the right.
It's also worth noting that the word Kluski, without the Silesian prefix, can also refer to certain kinds of soup noodles. Silesia itself is a historical subdivision of southwestern Poland that also crosses into the Czech Republic and Germany. Silesian Kluski bears a strong physical resemblance to Italian potato gnocchi. However, Silesian Kluski is flattened and has an indentation on one side. As you might surmise, that indentation is there to help the dumpling cook faster. And also, according to Lois Britton, the blogger behind Polish Housewife, the shape is a wonderful repository for whatever topping is paired with.
Oh my God, what is that? A nice pork chop? Or steak or something? That look like a pork chop. Oh my goodness, that and oh, right here, we have a dish. This is heaven right here, people. You understand? Heaven. Forget clouds and God. This right here, this is heaven. Right there. You see it? Oh, I'm starving now. So thank you, whoever sent me this video. I'm just starving right now. It's 11 o'clock at night and I'm starving now. Thank you.
Polish Housewife, the shape is a wonderful repository for whatever topping is paired with the dumpling. It has been said on many occasions that there is no dessert that's associated with the United States as much as apple pie. Hot dogs might run a close second, even though they're not typically a dessert.
That's interesting. Look at that. Hot dog with salad.
Although the two have recently been working quite
lettuce
harmoniously together in Guy Fieri's apple pie hot dog recipe. But here's a fun fact that comes to us from Tony Clary. The Polish apple-filled pastry known as Charlotka is basically the apple pie that Americans are used to. In fact, just like apple pie, Charlotka is often served with ice cream. So when you hear Charlotka, think apple pie. And don't think of Charlotte Russe, as you might be inclined to do.
Holy crap, what is that?
So, considering that Charlotka certainly sounds like it would be related to that ladyfingers and custard-based trifle. Charlotte Russe is considered a French dessert, despite its moniker, which is believed to be a call-out to Russian Tsar Alexander I. Meanwhile, the Polish Charlotka would probably prefer that you not associate it in any way with Russia.
Yeah, especially these days.
Another food that some consider to be Poland's national dish is schabowy. The word schabowy means chop in Polish, which makes sense when you learn that this dish is a boneless pork chop that's been pounded thin and then coated with egg, breadcrumbs, and flour before being fried to crispy perfection in hot oil. Schabowy is sometimes referred to as Kotlet schabowy, and this may be for the purpose of highlighting that it's supposed to be made with a pork chop cutlet instead of an on-the-bone chop. Schabowy is traditionally served with potatoes and cabbage, although it may also be served with grated beetroot or sauerkraut. If schabowy looks somewhat familiar to you, it may be because it reminds you of schnitzel, another pounded cutlet of meat that is battered and fried. Schnitzel tends to be a bit more commonly known in the US, particularly in areas with a significant history of German immigration. As noted by the blog Tasting Poland, although Polish cuisine seems to have an inclination towards time-consuming and laborious recipes, there are also some Polish foods that are both tasty and simple and fast to prepare.
Damn, that looks bomb. A lot of oil in there though, huh? A lot of oil in there. I'm seeing a lot of oil, but I don't care. I love oil. Olive oil. I love olive oil.
One such example of the latter is the traditional soup known as Ogorkowa, which means cucumber soup. It is sometimes known as sour cucumber soup or Polish pickle soup, as it's made with many of the ingredients that are associated with the preparation of sour pickles, like cucumbers, garlic, bay leaves, and peppercorns. As Poland.travel noted in its roundup of the 7 meals anyone traveling to Poland should try, nothing warms up the belly like the Polish cucumber soup. It is a consistent and tasty dish with lots of ingredients like bacon, sour pickled cucumbers, leek, carrots, celery, pepper, parsnip, and many more.
And a crap load of oil.
Another reason for Ogorkowa's popularity is that it stores well, which means it can be prepared ahead of time and heated up as needed. Thick, white, enriched with kielbasa and...
Oh my God! I gotta go to Poland. I gotta go to Poland and just find a restaurant that will serve everything. You know what I mean? I'll go there with this video and say, feed me this. Except the blood stuff.
And garnished with hard-cooked egg, Zurek is a classic Polish soup that gets its deep sour tang from fermented rye flour. According to CNN, it's the perfect Polish comfort food, and it's considered a bit of a national treasure.
That's high praise!
Indeed, Zurek is a winter soup favorite of Tony Clary, who was raised in the Boston area before he spent 23 years living and working in Poland. He considers Zurek to be absolutely delicious, and he tells Mashed that it makes for a hearty starter to cold weather meals.
Not for nothing, it looks like you could just have that soup and be full. Starter. It really looks like you could eat that bowl and be like, oof, I'm good. Good night, people. Good night.
Clary also notes that Zurek is often mistaken for another thick white soup, known as bialy Barszcz. However, bialy Barszcz gets its sour tang from fermented wheat flour rather than from rye. Furthermore, as Clary describes it, Zurek is a soup that's both thick and hearty, which stands in contrast to the lighter bialy Barszcz. Bialy Barszcz is a tasty Polish soup typically eaten on Easter morning. It contains sausage, eggs, potatoes, and other ingredients that contain a significant amount of religious symbolism. Thick and white and garnished with a hard-cooked egg, bialy Barszcz is also known as Polish white borscht, and could easily be confused for our previous selection of Zurek. In fact, some people will use the term Zurek and bialy Barszcz as if they are interchangeable. However, as previously noted, Zurek gets its sour flavor from fermented rye flour, whereas bialy Barszcz gets its sour flavor from fermented wheat flour. In addition, bialy Barszcz has more of a spring soup feel, as opposed to a hearty consistency that's more appropriate for colder weather. And that may help explain why it is that Zurek is associated with winter holidays, whereas bialy Barszcz is associated with Easter.
No, thank you, Easter Bunny.
The word borscht refers
Was that necessary?
to a category of soups, and there are hundreds of them, which feature well-simmered beetroot as their fundamental ingredient. The particular borscht, known as Barszcz czerwony, is distinguishable from other borschts by its authentic beet red color, its clean consistency, and the fact that it's almost transparent. Essentially, compared to most other borscht, Barszcz czerwony is more brothy than stewy, which means that the beet flavor really shines through. Although Barszcz czerwony can be served in a bowl, some people prefer to serve and consume it drink style, from clear glassware or mugs. It's also often adorned with dill or other fresh green herbs, and sometimes with a bit of sour cream. And for many Polish families, Barszcz czerwony is a long-standing Christmas Eve tradition.
Maybe it'll be like the new Christmas tradition.
When the topic of summer soups comes up in America, our minds tend to go immediately to brightly colored gazpachos or lightly spiced broth-based vegetable soups like minestrone or summer vegetable. What we don't tend to conjure up at this time of year is images of thick and creamy soups. But over in Poland, one of the most popular and classic summer soups is a creamy type of borscht that's served cold. It's commonly referred to as Chlodnik, although that term is also used to refer generally to any number of cold summer soups. The style of Chlodnik that refers specifically to creamy cold borscht starts with simmered beets. Then the resulting dark red beet broth is blended with cucumbers, radishes, and milk products, including yogurt, kefir, or sour cream. As described by Taste Atlas, the result is a refreshing, vibrant pink soup that ideally soothes the heat. Like Zurek, Chlodnik is also garnished with hard-cooked eggs. And like other borscht, it may also be garnished with dill, and it can occasionally also include meat. In Polish, the word kielbasa refers generically to all Polish sausage.
I love kielbasa. I'm not gonna lie, I love kielbasa.
Of which there are many, many varieties. These include bialy kielbasa, which is a white uncured sausage with a strong hit of marjoram in its flavor profile, kabanosy, which is closer to a Slim Jim than what you might typically think of as sausage, and wędzona, which is a smoked pork sausage that's been cured with garlic, sugar, and salt. Wędzona kielbasa is dark red with
This one here looks marvelous.
a shiny, wrinkly exterior. If it looks familiar to you, it's probably because it's usually the variety that's sold in American supermarkets as Polska kielbasa. This type of kielbasa has a strong garlicky flavor profile and often comes in a horseshoe shape, fully cooked and ready to be eaten right out of the package. sauce we just mentioned, in Poland, the word kielbasa refers to any variety of Polish sausage. And there's definitely more than one type of Polish sausage. We've also just established that the one known as wędzona is generally the variety that's sold as Polska kielbasa in American supermarkets, even if the label doesn't say wędzona. But there's another variety of kielbasa that you really need to try, and that is kabanosy. Kabanosy is sometimes referred to as a hunter's sausage. That means, according to the S. Clyde Weaver blog, it's more like what you'd think of as a meat snack stick rather than sausage you'd serve as part of a meal. Just like the red, wrinkly, horseshoe-shaped wędzona kielbasa, kabanosy is also ready to eat right out of the package. Furthermore, it's also shelf-stable since it's smoked and dried. Kasha is the Russian word for porridge, which is a cereal made by cooking hulled, crushed grains in a liquid such as water or milk. The Polish version of kasha is kasha, which is pronounced the same but spelled with a Z instead of an H. Polish kasha is made from the hulled seeds of the buckwheat plant, which isn't actually a grain at all. Nevertheless, hulled buckwheat seeds cook up into porridge the way wheat and other grains do. They're often referred to as buckwheat groats, and they're a good source of protein and antioxidants. When buckwheat groats are toasted first, they deliver what can be considered a rich and nutty flavor. Polish kasha is the resulting porridge made from cooking buckwheat groats, and it can be used for both sweet and savory dishes. And when prepared with mushrooms and onions, kasha is a popular Polish breakfast food.
With what? With what mushrooms?
Groats, and it can be used for both sweet and savory dishes. And when prepared with mushrooms and onions.
Mushrooms and onions for breakfast. Now that's interesting. That is interesting. Yeah, okay. Just make sure you brush your teeth, I guess, before you go to work. That's all.
Kasha is a popular Polish breakfast food. Beef stroganoff is yet another example of a Polish food that has strong cultural ties to another country.
Beef stroganoff, isn't that getting a little loose with the language?
In this case, that country
do you find those to be funny when they do this to videos? Like, that's not funny.
Is Russia, which occupied Poland for many years. The generally
Don't remind them.
accepted history of this particular dish is that a French chef in the employ of a rich St. Petersburg family created it for a cooking contest in 1891. The custom of the day was to name the prize-winning dish after his employer, who was a man by the name of Stroganov. What most people think of as beef stroganoff is essentially the dish that came out of that contest. It's comprised of thin strips of beet, apparently thin enough to be chewed by the dentally challenged Mr. Stroganov. Those strips have been slow-cooked with mushrooms and onions and a thick sour cream sauce. By contrast, Polish beef stroganoff has a thinner sauce and makes use of tomatoes. And in keeping with the Polish preference for sour tastes, classic Polish beef stroganoff also gets a hit of sour tang from dill pickles. The word Golonka means knuckle in Polish. When used in the context of Polish cuisine, Golonka refers to a hearty dish made by slow braising a cut of meat known as pork knuckle. The word knuckle may conjure images of fingers and joints spoiling for a fight, but in the case of pork knuckle, it actually refers to the meaty upper part of the pig's leg. Pork knuckle is sometimes referred to as pork shank, and when it's smoked or cured, it's known as ham hock. For Polish Golonka,
I've seen this dish, you guys. Oh, yeah. Oh, I've seen this.
the braising liquid typically includes beer, which lends the pork a pleasantly sour note that many of the other Polish foods on this list also possess. According to Polish housewife blogger Lois Britton, it's fantastic with a little sauerkraut, maybe some boiled potatoes, and roasted vegetables. It's a Polish classic. If you can find it, cook it. Potato pancakes supposedly owe their existence to a mass planting of potatoes in Poland and Ukraine during the 19th century. This made potatoes abundant and inexpensive, which led people to think of creative ways to substitute this tuber for other ingredients in their cooking. One example included swapping shredded potatoes for ricotta cheese in the cheese pancakes that had traditionally been enjoyed on the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah. Not only did this catch on within the Polish Jewish community, it was also embraced by the the general Polish population at large. If you haven't tried potato pancakes, you absolutely need to rectify that immediately. Simply grate a potato and an onion. While you drain them in a colander, beat together an egg, 2 tablespoons of flour, and a dash of salt and pepper.
I could do that.
Fold in the potatoes and onions, form patties, and fry them to a crispy golden brown.
We would call that a What the hell are you doing on my video? What the hell are you doing on my video?
Pancakes!
We're doing that again. All right, anyway, you know what? That's basically a hash brown. We call that a hash brown. Everything she just said in that pancake, the potato pancake, is basically a hash brown. Oof, that looked delicious though. No joke.
Nalesniki is the Polish word for very thin, flexible pancakes that are meant to be rolled around a filling, whether sweet or savory. If that sounds like the beginning of a rolled French crepe to you, then you're on the right track.
I had one of these at a Polish street food fair. I had one of these. 1 strawberry, 1 blueberry. They were both amazing.
The difference is that in Poland, Nalesniki comprised the beginning not of crepes per se, but rather of blintzes. Like its French equivalent, the blintz is a thin and flexible pancake that's been rolled around a sweet or savory filling. However, the classic recipe for blintzes involves an extra step, which is pan-frying the rolled and stuffed pancake so that the filling becomes warm and melty, and the exterior develops a golden brown color. If you do decide to try this particular Polish food, be forewarned that it could leave you wondering why on earth the French don't pan-fry their crepes after they've been rolled.
What's up with that?
New York and bagels go together like Wisconsin and cheese. Despite that enduring association, this particular bread product's origins actually lie elsewhere. It turns out that the story of bagels can be traced back to Poland, specifically the city of Krakow. As legend has it, the first bagel was rolled in 1683 to resemble the Polish king's stirrup. However, as reported by Smithsonian Magazine, written records from Krakow indicate that bagels were being rolled, parboiled, and baked since at least as early as 1610. That appears to be the earliest written reference to this dense, chewy bread with a pleasantly crisp exterior. Today, an estimated 150,000 bagels are sold in Krakow alone every single day, whether in bakeries, shops, or even on street carts. Considering the bagel's current ubiquity, it's unlikely that we even need to convince you to indulge in this now classic Polish street food.
You don't need to convince me to eat anything that they have shown, other than the blood products.
But at least now you can tell yourself that you're—
oh, look at that with lock on it. Oh, yo, that shit look. Oh.
Doing it in the name of history and culture.
Oh, great. So much for bagels.
If you're a fan of eggnog, then you really need to know about the sweet and
I love eggnog.
Eggy Polish treat known as Gogol. This dessert dates back to Poland and Russia's Jewish communities of the 1700s. It's creamy and drinkable, and its primary ingredients are egg yolks and sugar. Vanilla, cocoa, honey, and even alcoholic beverages may be added to enhance the experience.
Hell yeah.
There is one primary difference between eggnog and its Central European cousin, and that is that eggnog contains milk and/or cream, whereas Gogol does not. Since it avoids milk, which is a throat irritant for some people, Gogol can be used not only as a delicious drinkable dessert treat, but also as a comforting remedy for a sore throat or a scratchy voice, especially when it's served warm. In fact, it's even been said that Barbra Streisand's mom gave it to her as a child in order to strengthen her vocal cords. Even in the off chance that nothing else in this roundup of Polish foods has you searching for authentic Polish restaurants near you, Karpatka may still change your mind. Seriously, this one is a major crowd pleaser that even counted the late Pope John Paul II among its fans. Well, sort of. The Polish-born former head of the Catholic Church was known to have had a soft spot for a slightly fancier version of Karpatka that was known as kremówka, which has since been renamed papal cream cake in honor of the late pontiff. Kremówka consists of 2 layers of well-laminated puff pastry and a thick layer of smooth vanilla-flavored cream. Karpatka is basically the same thing as maple cream cake, except that the pastry layers consist of the far less work-intensive pâte à choux, which is a simple pastry dough that doesn't require the additional layering in of butter that pastry dough's lamination requires. And why is it called Karpatka? The top layer of pâte à choux develops delicate peaks, and when they're dusted with confectioner's sugar, they're said to resemble the snow-covered Carpathian Mountains, which run through Poland and other parts of Central and Eastern Europe. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more mashed videos about your favorite foods are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.
I'm so hungry right now. I think I gained 10 pounds just watching that video. Oh, man. All right, so listen. There's one thing. All right, so is there a way? There's got to be a way. Because I can't go to Poland. I mean, not now. Not like, but like not just to eat food. You know, it's a pretty expensive trip. So there's got to be a way you guys could make one of these dishes, right? So you get a homemade cooking Polish mother. She makes one of these dishes, right? Now hear me out. She makes one of these dishes. Well, let's not mess around. She makes 22 dishes of these 25 for me, of course, right? And then she got to freeze it. So that it stays frozen for the plane trip to the United States, and then UPS delivers it to me in my house, and then by the time I get it, it's still frozen. And all I got to do is warm the oven up, because we're not going to blast it with a microwave. We would never do such a thing. It has to be in the oven. So we warm it up in the oven, and then I take it out, and I eat it in front of you. That sounds like a great idea, right? I know that. I agree with you. You should all send me some food from Poland. I agree. Don't poison it now. Don't be mean. Don't try to kill me. Now, you just send me some delicious, healthiest McDonald's breakfast item. No, don't be sending me no McDonald's. I want 22 Polish foods that are in this video. So all you got to do is send it to me. It's no big deal. It's right. So you freeze it up, stick it in a freezer bag, and then send it in a big cage filled with ice and filled with like nitrogen. You know what I'm saying? Like really freeze it up. And then by the time it comes here with the plane flight, maybe you send it here in a rocket ship. This way it gets here in like an hour instead of like 12 hours. You know what I mean? And then the rocket ship lands. The food comes out. It goes into UPS Lamborghinis. And then they get to my house within 20 minutes. And then I get to eat it. There you go. That's a plan. That's the plan. You hear me? We got it. This could be done. It could be done. I'm telling you, it could be done. Okay. So there you go. That's it. So now I'll just sit here and I'll wait for you guys to feed me. Okay? From Poland. Just send over the food. There's no big deal. That's all. And I'll eat it in front of everybody. And if I die, you'll be guilty. Because I'll be on the video dying of poison because you murdered me with food. Because I don't know, for some reason you didn't like me. I don't understand how you could possibly not like me. I mean, I'm adorable. I'm an adorable guy. Everybody loves me. So I don't know. But just in case, you're like, you know what? I'm going to poison his ass. I'm just saying, I'll be on video. And you'll be guilty. Because everyone will see me croak right on the video. So be careful. Don't send me no poison food. But I'm just saying, send me a couple, pierogi. Like 22 dishes out of the 25. That's good. That's right. We can make a good video with 22 dishes eating. I'll gain about 15, 20 pounds right on the screen. And that's it. Cool? All right, then. It's a plan. All right. Take care. Peace out. And have a good night. Better start cooking. That's a lot of food I need. Start cooking. Get to it. Peace out.